The transit of Saturn trine the natal sun is one of the most significant, constructive periods of a person's life. It represents a harmonious alignment between the principle of structure, time, and responsibility, Saturn, and the core identity, vital purpose, and conscious ego, the sun. Unlike the disruptive or high-pressure aspects like the conjunction, square, or opposition, the trine offers a smooth, flowing integration of Saturnian energy. It does not force change through crisis. Instead, it provides a window of opportunity where hard work, discipline, and pragmatic planning yield tangible, long-term rewards. It is an era of quiet consolidation, character building, and the stabilization of one's personal authority. To fully comprehend this transit, one must understand the archetypal relationship between Saturn and the Sun. The Sun represents the essential self, the spark of individuality, and the conscious direction of the life force. It is the archetype of the hero, striving to express itself authentically and leave a distinct mark on the world. Saturn, by contrast, represents the reality principle. It is the architect, the cosmic timekeeper, and the boundary maker. Saturn demands boundaries, effort, accountability, and respect for structural limitations. When these two celestial bodies form a trine, a flowing 120°/circ aspect, the friction typically associated with Saturn disappears. The ego does not feel crushed or restricted by responsibility, rather, it recognizes responsibility as the precise vehicle through which it can achieve true independence and self-actualization. During a Saturn trine Sun transit, an individual experiences a grounded sense of clarity regarding their capabilities and limitations. There is little desire for superficial validation or flashy, temporary successes. Instead, the focus shifts entirely toward building enduring foundations. If the natal sun represents what we want to become, the transiting Saturn trine provides the concrete scaffolding necessary to reach that state. It is a period characterized by emotional and psychological sobriety. Illusions about one's life direction naturally fall away, replaced by a calm, objective assessment of what needs to be done. This makes it an ideal time for making long-term commitments, whether in a career, a major creative project, or personal development. In the realm of career and public life, this transit acts as a period of professional maturation. The effort put into one's work over the preceding years begins to crystallize into recognized authority. Superiors, mentors, or parental figures look upon the individual with favor, noting their reliability, emotional maturity, and competence. It is common to receive promotions, inherit greater responsibilities, or successfully launch businesses during this time. Because the aspect is a trine, these advancements rarely feel overwhelming. The individual feels entirely ready to shoulder the weight of their new position. The workload may increase, but so does the capacity for endurance and organization. It is a time for methodical, step-by-step progress, where shortcuts are rejected in favor of mastery. Financially and materially, the transit encourages a conservative, highly strategic approach. It is an excellent period for securing assets, investing in property, creating long-term savings plans, or organizing one's estate. The psychological urge during this transit is to eliminate waste and optimize efficiency. The individual becomes highly adept at managing resources, recognizing that true freedom is built upon a foundation of material security and self-discipline. Beyond external achievements, the internal shifts that occur during a Saturn trine Sun transit are profound. The relationship with the inner masculine archetype, the father, or authority figures undergoes a constructive evolution. If there have been past wounds or conflicts regarding authority, this transit allows the individual to step into their own authority, reducing the need to fight or seek approval from external sources. The person becomes their own internal anchor. Self-esteem ceases to fluctuate based on the opinions of others. It becomes rooted in a realistic self-assessment and a record of tangible accomplishments. Physically, this transit can bring a sense of steady energy and resilience. While Saturn transits can sometimes indicate low energy if the aspect is harsh, the trine provides a disciplined vitality. It is a perfect window to implement structured health regimens, fix structural issues in the body, such as those related to the bones, teeth, or spine, and establish sustainable daily habits. The body responds well to routine, moderation, and long-term wellness planning. Ultimately, the transit of Saturn trine the natal sun is a gift of focus and endurance. It offers a clear, unglamorous, yet deeply satisfying path towards self-mastery. The achievements made during this period are rarely transitory, they become permanent pillars of the individual's life structure. When the transit concludes, the person emerges more grounded, more respected, and deeply anchored in their authentic identity, possessing a clear understanding of who they are and what they are capable of building. To delve even deeper into the mechanics of this transit, we must look at how the Saturn-Sun trine alters the psychological architecture of the individual. This is not merely a period of good luck or easy external success. In astrology, a trine represents a state of psychological ease where two planetary drives cooperate without friction. Because the Sun is our conscious awareness and Saturn is our capacity for concentration, this transit fundamentally enhances your mental stamina, patience, and ability to compartmentalize. You find yourself able to look at complex, stressful, or chaotic situations with an unusually cool, detached, and analytical eye. The emotional volatility that often disrupts long-term planning is naturally quieted during this time. The mind operates like a well-oiled machine, filtering out irrelevant noise, external drama, and unnecessary social expectations. If you are typically someone who analyzes everything to find order, this transit rewards that exact trait. It takes your natural urge for logic and gives it a highly practical, real-world outlet. You aren't just analyzing for the sake of understanding, you are analyzing to build a blueprint. The realignment of time and patience. One of the greatest psychological shifts during this transit is an altered relationship with time itself. Under harsher Saturn aspects, time feels like an enemy, a ticking clock creating anxiety or a heavy weight causing delays. During the trine, however, time becomes your greatest ally. You intuitively understand that anything of true, lasting value requires a deliberate, unhurried developmental process. This psychological grounding manifests in several distinct ways. The power of no, you gain a profound capacity to set healthy, unyielding boundaries. Saying no to people, projects, or distractions that do not align with your core identity or long-term objectives becomes effortless and entirely devoid of guilt. Immunity to external validation. The compulsive need for immediate praise or superficial feedback completely evaporates. You become perfectly content working in quiet isolation, knowing that the structural integrity of what you are building will eventually speak for itself. Strategic stoicism. When obstacles do arise, you don't experience them as personal failures or emotional crises. Instead, you view them as objective structural flaws, glitches in the system that simply require a logical, mechanical adjustments to fix. Healing the core identity and autonomy. The Sun represents the archetype of the father, the lineage, and the internal authority structure. When transiting Saturn trines the Sun, it offers a quiet, profound opportunity to heal developmental dynamics related to parental expectations, family structures, or old psychological wounds regarding competence and control. During this period, you naturally stop looking to external entities, whether that is an employer, a partner, or a parental figure, to validate your worth or tell you what your duties should be. You effectively become your own internal parent. If you have previously carried a heavy sense of obligation or guilt tied to family dynamics, the trine allows you to logically separate your true responsibilities from the psychological baggage that belongs to others. You are able to say, "This is my duty, and I will execute it flawlessly. That is your burden, and I will no longer carry it." This clean, emotional boundary setting brings an incredible sense of relief and mental clarity. Long-term structuring and legacy. Because Saturn rules the physical world, architecture, and enduring structures, the projects you initiate or solidify under a Saturn trine Sun transit tend to last for decades. This is the astrological equivalent of pouring a concrete foundation. It is an ideal time for writing extensive works, mastering a highly technical body of knowledge, streamlining your daily routines, or organizing complex data systems. You aren't interested in trends, quick fixes, or flashy presentations right now. Your focus is entirely on substance, technical accuracy, and systemic efficiency. You are playing the long game, carefully assembling the pieces of your life with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a master craftsman who knows exactly how the final structure will look. Subscribe, like, and share.